Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to another episode of Intuitive Creator Spotlight. I am Stella, your host, and I am inviting amazing guests here who have transformed their lives and now are on a journey to help other people transform their lives too. I have with me here today Pearl. She's a deeply intuitive healer. She's a space holder and a medicine woman. She has been on a journey of transformation, loss, and spiritual awakening. I can't wait for Pearl to share her story with us. Welcome, welcome to this episode, Pearl. I'm so happy to have you here.
Hello, Stella. Hi, thank you for having me. It's an honour to jump on this podcast with you. So yeah, thank you very much.
Let's go into your journey. Let's go into your story. I know that there was a very interesting connection between you and the energy of dance at a very early age in your life. How did that help you learn more about yourself at that age?
Yeah, so from a young age, in the UK, it was all over the world really. There was a dance culture and it was a rave scene, which included taking drugs, but it also included being free. There's an element of escapism as well when I look back at that time of my life. But being free and dancing, and I think I said, as I look back on my life at that time, there was a lot going on. So like I escaped quite a bit, to be quite honest.
And I know that a big element of that was the dance element. How did that help you learn more about yourself, about your body, about who you are? Did that have an impact on your journey?
Yeah, so with with dance comes freedom of movement, it comes self-expression, and it also comes with, which I've learnt to understand later in life, is the release of emotion, a release of whatever we have going on within ourselves. So I didn't realise, but when I was younger, I was actually doing a lot of releasing. Um, Throughout my life, I've always carried on with that. I've always loved to go dancing, festivals and things like that. The only thing I didn't carry on with was the help that he needed. Really, was the taking drug side. I've had quite a lot of loss in my life due to drugs and alcohol, and with that comes a realization of, yeah, it's fun for a while. However, our body is our vessel, and we need that to carry us into our old age. Our mind, is needs caring for and looking after. So I kind of knocked that on the head. I walked away from that. Um, I was introduced to cacao, so in 2020, and that just opened me back up to that free movement, just free expression, and without basically all of what comes with that kind of scene, basically.
So you chose to use this beautiful form of movement throughout your life and in different kinds of ways. So if you were to say how you're using movement at this point in time, how would you describe that?
So now I sort of move most days. So I to raise my vibration if I'm feeling sluggish, to get my lymphatic system moving. If I'm feeling sad, it does raise our vibration. It shifts. It releases endorphins, all the good hormones, and really for me, working with cacao and working with movement, it's important to keep up with that practice. And not only that, I still have work to do myself. I still have triggers sometimes. I still have a physical life, and people come in, and so I still have to work through things. So for me, movement and dance really helps me to shake that off. Yeah.
I love that. And I think it's the connection that we have with our body really helps us connect deeper with our own intuition because we keep tuning into those senses and really understand the information that's around us and what it means to us and to other people as well. And I love that you're doing this because I think movement is such a key element in our life because yes, we are human. We are spiritual beings, but we also have human experience, and then the movement comes in play, and it's such an important part as well. So, I know that you have been through a lot, Pearl. I know you've been through grief, through deep transformation. And especially, I know that when you lost your father, your brother, and then your dog, that was a very traumatic moment for you in your life. So, how did that impact your spiritual journey?
I think you get to a point in your life when building up to that time in my life, I'd had quite a lot of loss anyway. Um, I'd had relationships that I'd never really healed from, and I'd like, other losses. If that's some of the losses of family around that time as well. But you get to that point where it's like, okay, my body was like, you need to start working on these. You need to start acknowledging this trauma. It was affecting my physical body. My digestive system was out. I had it was horrendous, to be quite honest. I had anxiety. Um, I was just really not myself. I couldn't even go into places that I'd been going into for years. I didn't. I just wasn't myself. I really wasn't myself, and it was quite obvious that my body was pushing me to either I was going to be seriously quite poorly, or it was time now to start really um, acknowledging the loss, the hurt, the anger, the grief, whatever, there's so many emotions within that. So that was a really pinnacle time for me, and it really made me sort of look at myself, look at my own behaviours. We have had a conversation about I was in a spiritual circle, still am in that. With very privileged to be in, within that environment and to have a connection with spirit. And I received some information, and the information was, you need to heal. If you're going to be doing the work that you want to do going forward, you need to heal yourself, your body, your mind, and that's where plant medicine came in. I was guided to sit with ayahuasca on two times. That time it was you need to do two. So yeah, that was my first experience. That was sort of 2020, when everything it all sort of come to a crescendo really, and I booked a weekend retreat really with a shaman. Yeah.
So the plant medicine really did support you on this journey. What would you say were some of the biggest lessons you've learned from your connection with plant medicine?
So they enabled me to really see me, understand the bigger picture of my physical experience. Um, I was probably quite in a victim mindset of all these things happening to me. When you look back, you can, have much gratitude for the experiences because they have helped me to grow as a person, and helped me to have so much more understanding and compassion for myself, for my family, for friends, for past relationships. So with that, it comes a lot of um, just I think it just comes with a lot of understanding, compassion, releasing of what doesn't serve me, things that I've held on to for many, many years, things I never even realised that was still lingering. And we go through our day to day thinking that we've been through something and then we let it go and we move on. And generally, it's not the case. There's sometimes, well, a lot of the time, there was a lot I'd held on to and I did not realise at all. So yeah, it really just helped me to shift that.
And then all of these traumatic experiences in the past, they are healed if we do choose to go on this journey of healing. But then, especially grief comes in waves, and then you have to deal with the next wave and the next wave. And it's so beautiful to have tools and to have teachers like plant medicine to help you on this journey. So, what would you say? How did you say changed your life when you went from, well, I've had such an intense time of my life being in particular circles to then deciding to completely clear everything and really be with myself, know myself better. Did your friends change? Like, did you start to have new friends? Did you have to start to have new circles around you?
Yeah, I did really. So because a lot of my friend circles incorporated going out, drinking, clubbing, and things like that, that didn't align with how I felt and what I wanted for myself, or just didn't align with me. So for quite some time, I went on a very deep healing journey myself. I didn't see many people. I've kind of always had a spiritual family of friends and my physical sort of family of friends, my close friends that I, you know, have known for a long time. But yeah, I did. It does change. I think your vibration changes. You attract different people, um, and you just feel, um, you just don't feel aligned to go to them places anymore. Um, I think as well because I was healing, I went through about a two-year very deep dive. I didn't want to be in environments that would tempt me to abuse my body because it was self-sabotage really. You know, after my dad, I self-sabotaged quite a lot with food, with drinking, with other chemicals, you know. Yeah, so for me, I had to remove myself and heal and go through that process for quite some time. I incorporated it. I started. I mean, I've always stayed friends with the people who were close to me, and they understood my journey. Um, but there was a time when I started was going to go to a festival. It's a dance festival, and I said, you know, if I can't come with you and stay sober, then I won't ever be coming again. And basically, for the last 3 years, I've been and I've stayed sober. So yeah, I've had cacao. I've had a very incredible experience. I think I had the odd shot when, you know, I was with friends, but not. I didn't go and drink all weekend. I didn't go and, you know, abuse my body for the whole weekend, which is what I had done it in the past quite to quite an extent, to be honest. So yeah.
This is a testament to your resilience and your strong desire to change your life and to heal in such a beautiful way. And now when you heal, you inspire so many people around you with your journey too. And that's what you're doing here in this interview as well. So I know that you've worked with many powerful tools like cacao, Kambo, Reiki, sound, energy. How do you know which one is the best for you at certain times in your life? How do you know to which one to go to?
With medicine, create you create a connection with medicine, and some medicines I've worked with in the past I don't really have a connection with anymore. They did the job at that time, but with Cambo and cacao I felt a really deep connection with both the medicines, and you feel that call. It's an intuitive connection. You feel the medicine. Sometimes I can feel the medicine. I feel the medicine before I'm actually working with it, and I know that's sort of a call into, especially with Cambo, it's very energetic medicine, and I'll go through like months and months and months with not sitting with Cambo, and then um, all of a sudden I'll start feeling its energy, and I'll start feeling the pull, and it's like, okay, so it's my time to sit with Cambo again. So yeah, you just have that intuitive connection with medicine. Um, at the end of the day, we're all energy. It's all energy, isn't it? And if you work with it and create that connection and yeah, I think it's just that intuitive guidance, really, inner guidance with it.
Absolutely. And let me ask you this, what does intuitive healing mean to you? Because I know that we all perceive things in different ways. So I would love to hear, what does this mean to you, intuitive healing?
It's just listening to yourself. If I am healing with myself, it's knowing and understanding my own body and being in tune with every part. You know, when you become in tune with your body, when anything is out of balance, you know straight away. You really feel that imbalance. If you're working with somebody else, we all work with spirit when we're doing this kind of work, animals, guides. Um, it's tuning in and having that connection and that having a relationship with who are guiding you, who is supporting you on this healing and physical journey, and feeling their energy and being in tune with the person you're working with their energy field. So you're guided intuitively. So for me, um, no energy healing ceremony or treatment is the same. If somebody comes and they want something, it's always tailor made. I say tailor made. It's intuitive. Sometimes they'll come for one thing and well, I don't feel like this. How do you feel about, and yeah, we sit and have a bit of consultation and be in tune with their energy field. And obviously my energy field will pick up on that.
And so do you have any, say, techniques or tools that you specifically use to stay connected with your own intuition?
So with tools with myself, I meditation is the biggest key, really. Meditation, connecting with my body. I do movement. I work with yoga. So really connecting and staying connected to my physical body, to my energy centers, and having an understanding of, if and when they are out of balance, I can feel that. Also, meditation helps me to stay grounded, helps me to stay connected with my guides. Um, so yeah, I think that has answered the question.
Yes, absolutely. And that's really beautiful. And yeah, meditation is a really powerful tool. And there are so many different things that can come through. And like you said, every healing process, every healing moment is unique. And it's the same, I think, when you just go deeper within yourself, you never know what kind of um, guidance or information will come through. And that's beautiful. Because, we are on this journey and we're always discovering something else, something new. But if you remember, the beginning of this beautiful healing journey for yourself, and I know that we go through seasons in life, and those that are not the best seasons, there is learning there as well. But if you remember that moment when you decided, that's it, I'm just going to completely change my life, have you had like times when you felt, you know what, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it? Have you ever had doubts about that?
I've not got a doubt about substances. I've never been to an extent of I've take it or leave it. I'm a social person. I've never relied on anything, alcohol or anything like that. So never doubted that. It was a social aspect.
Mm.
It's very easily in a social environment. And also it's very um, sometimes in a mindset, or you condition yourself thinking, I'm going out dancing, so I probably need something to enhance that. And you don't. I dance all the time without anything. Um, yeah, I think giving myself the time as well, like I said, the time to understand myself and learn to know who I am and and what I'm capable of and what I need and what I don't need in my life. That time is really important to be able to nurture that and not to be just not reliant on anything to be in public or like I say I did feel very anxious after my dad passed and things like that, and that affected my me going anywhere. If I had any alcohol, it accentuated anxiety. So for me, it was a no-brainer. It was like, I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to waste a weekend. So for me, it's take it or leave it. If I carry on, I'll probably end up the same route as my dad, which he had quite bad problems with his stomach and his pancreas, um, and I don't want that for me. And so for me, it was um, it's not going to work. It doesn't align with the work I do. It doesn't any of that doesn't align with working with medicine, working with healing with Cambo. Energetically, when you work with them kind of medicines, you kind of vibrate away from it anyway. You don't. It just doesn't align at all, and that's how I feel that the change came in really.
I love that you mentioned that, and thank you so much for sharing this part of your story because it's like for you it was a no-brainer. It was a decision, and you just wanted to embrace that and just not look back. And that's such a strong position to be in. For those who are watching us, and maybe they're in a place in their life when they're thinking, well, I've I've been on this path of self-sabotaging and maybe not really giving myself enough time or grace, and I don't know like where to start from. What kind of message would you share with them?
Just go within. Really, journaling is one of the most powerful tools you can start with, and meditation. Where you can write down how you're feeling on that day, what's happening in your life, how that makes you feel. Um, and with that, it becomes a behavior or something that it shows. It'll show maybe anxiety, and then the feelings that you're feeling in your body will then come out of, what effect is it having on my body. So all of those things, when you start journaling and writing down your thoughts, your feelings, you can start to get a picture of the effect it's having on your body is the biggest thing really, and the mind, because when I was sort of doing that, it was like anxiety, IBS, and all of these every day, and I thought, yeah, so all of this needs to change. um Reach out wherever you are in the country, in the world, there's so many holistic and medicine people, there's so many sober things are coming up, there's so many um sober communities that are being created now, which is incredible. A lot of the younger generation are actually not drinking alcohol, which is one of the worst poisons on earth, really. So yeah, reach out to somebody. Go on Facebook in your area. Definitely would be somebody who does cacao ceremonies. Who if there's just somebody sober. If you're having if there's addiction, or anything addiction wise, there's so much help out there. Dig deep, think about who you are, where you are. Um, a lot of the time, well, all of the time when we're using anything like that, we're escaping. We're not, there's something within us that we're avoiding. So journaling will help with that as well. Journal,
Mm.
what am I avoiding? Ask yourself, we all avoid. We've all avoided, I avoided for many years. So yeah, but
Mm.
journaling and meditation is a great place to start.
And sometimes, yes, we might feel afraid to face something that we might discover within our shadow, for example. And I always love to say that, yes, some people see the shadow self as this something as something that's very scary, when in reality there are a lot of hidden talents and gems that they've been repressed, and then we tried to numb them, maybe, and so if there is someone who thinks, well, okay, I'll start this journey, I'll start meditating, I'll start journaling, but what if as I'm doing that, I find out something about myself that I'm afraid to look at? How should someone go from there? What should they do?
So we all have this idea that our shadow self is needs to be purged, and light and dark exists in all of us. So it's having acceptance of who we are, We've come here to experience, we've chosen this body, we've chosen all these experiences, whether you believe in that, and we've chosen these aspects of our life that will get us through this physical journey. So with the shadow side, it's having an understanding of the shadow and just embracing it and allowing it to be. It's part of us. We're not going to get rid of that. We don't have to be in that side of ourselves all the time. It's understanding it and embracing it, really.
I love that. And so, as we heal, as we take these important decisions in our life, and say, okay, that's it. I'm going to break the cycle. I'm going to move forward. It is very clear that yes, we also contribute to the healing of people around us, but also we heal ancestral traumas as well. How would you say, healing our lineage can free us in the present, and why is this so important?
So when we start to look at our behaviors, how we're conditioned as children, um, that conditioning, if we don't learn to understand ourselves, um, and our ancestral traumas, you can actually see down your lineage. If you look in deep into your family, you can actually see where traits come in and behaviors, and conditioning. So it's doing the healing on yourself and understanding where your behaviors come from, where that conditioning came from, how to nurture it, how to work around it, and not then passing it on to your children. So, not just not passing it on to your children, and also being that change. We are that when we heal and change ourselves, people around us see that, they feel that change, and it's and obviously that radiates down through our lineage backwards to our ancestors, because as we heal ourselves, heal that lineage. But yeah, not pushing those all of that behavior, those conditioning from your parents, even school, everything else comes into that, not pushing that onto the next generation, because you can see how it then goes, you know, twofold next out all the way down the line, you see. So yeah.
Absolutely. And yes, and that's how we heal generations before us and generations that will follow. And that's really magical because yes, we can be that catalyst for a very significant change for our lineage, but also for our friends, for people around us, for people who interact with us as well. Because, like you said, when we shift a lot of things within us, people around us notice too. And I feel that like every time I remember I was in a good mood or I was like really with my heart open, if I would go somewhere and I would have a conversation with someone, I might say something and then that person might tell me like, well, that's exactly what I needed to hear, or that's exactly the space I needed to be in. But it starts with us to first like create that alignment within ourselves. So before we'll wrap up this episode, Pearl, can you share with us some of the maybe grounding practices or practices that can help our viewers to connect with themselves better? So I know that you mentioned journaling and meditation. Is there anything that you have maybe discovered and you didn't know about, or something that helps you on a daily basis, even if it's something simple and yet powerful?
So for me, and a lot of people that I know, is getting out in nature, grounding, take your shoes off. I mean, I live near the seaside, so take your shoes off, grounds, go into the sand, go into the earth. And for me, that is incredible. If I need to think or anything, that is, I either go to the woods or I'll go to the sea. Um, and I think people, I seem to see a lot more people are um, going on that journey where they are feeling that call to nature. But even if you haven't got the seaside and you haven't got a woods near, take your shoes off, go and stand in the garden, just do some breath work, just take some deep breaths in and just have gratitude for every single day that you are breathing and you are living, because it is a privilege to us all, really.
Mhm. It absolutely is. And thank you so, so much for your presence here, Pearl. I really appreciate that. To everyone who's watching us, please check out the description of this video to know how you can connect with Pearl. And you might watch this video immediately after we post it or much later. So make sure you check out what Pearl is working on. What is it that she's sharing with the world at that point in time? If you're new to our channel, please take a moment to subscribe, like this video, and let us know your thoughts. And I cannot wait to see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.